Hey guys, how are you this evening, morning? It is early in the morning. Yes, I know. I also know for some of us, we still can't sleep. And if you are looking to get some rest, I love to help. Even if you wake up and decide it's a little hard to go back to sleep, hopefully my tapping sounds and my shameless plug of my book will help relax you and get you right back to sleep. That's what we hope anyway. So I love to read some to you. But I know how much we love the sound of tapping. So, of course, my first love, the tapping. And yes, my book, Selfish is the New Sexy. It's all about self-love, self-appreciation, and valuing yourself. Especially since that's what you want other people to do for you, right? I believe we've been tricked. We've been tricked into putting other people before us. Into and of course, it can help relax you too. So it's got like triple duty. This book does so much. So I'll read you a little bit from the back of it while we tap on it. So it says, loving yourself is a powerful way to take control of your life. Are you comfortable feeling guilty for loving and accepting yourself? Does having high self-esteem and doing what makes you happy, regardless of what others say and think, induce fear and anxiety? To believe you were put on earth to be dissatisfied, manipulated, unhappy, have your gifts diminished and your power squandered? If so, this is not the book for you, unless you want to change all that. This is your life. Now get what you want out of it. So that's just, oh, thank you. It's just a little bit about my book, Selfish. Selfish is the New Sexy. And of course, it's available on Amazon and on selfishandsexy.com. But I would love to help relax you guys with it and to read you a little bit and get some tapping into for all of my lovely, lovely, lovely friends who can't get to sleep. So let's read you a little bit of it. To everyone, I've had the extreme honor and privilege of learning, creating, and experiencing life and love through. Thank you, especially my favorite goddess and mother, Lola. I love you. And then we got our table of contents. But you know, all what's in this cool little book that I just happened to write. Oops. So acknowledgments. I honor and appreciate my ancestors, known and unknown. And guys, feel free to comment if you'd like or any requests. We are definitely open to it. Let's see. Introduction. In our struggle for freedom, truth is the only weapon we possess. The Dalai Lama. So I'm going to stop tapping for a moment while we read. But if you guys like the tapping, let me know and we can continue it while I read. In our struggle for freedom, truth is the only weapon we possess. The Dalai Lama. What comes to mind when you think of a flower? A flower. The simple beauty of a flower has been seen as a symbol that brings joy while showing love and appreciation. It is a great example for everyone who wants to relax and enjoy life. The flower will bloom until the shine from its magnificence has graced the world for all who were meant to realize it. The blossom delights, flourishing. It is perfect at being a flower and doing what it is meant to do, being only what it is meant to be. Regardless of the day of the week or time of the year, as the leaves grow larger, change color, shrivel, and fall, the bloom will always allow nature to take its course. It automatically knows it must change and experience growth. It will never waste a second trying to stop what comes natural to it, deplete itself unnecessarily, or block itself from sunlight, water, or soil. No matter what type of flower it is. Thank you. Thank you, Nisha. I love you. That's my sweetie right there. It will never try to compete with others on earth. It knows its place. It will not shrink itself so another flower can bloom or try to overshadow the beauty of another. It just radiates love, shines, and attracts what it needs. It lives on creating and leaving seeds that continue to construct more and more beauty in all of our environments, continuously providing nourishment and facilitating expansion in the world for future generations to come. They may not love what comes with every season, but they bounce back in full glory as they change. All they do is live in their perfection, naturally serving in so many ways until their time on earth is done. The flower is made of the same physical material, spirit, and energy as you are. Luckily for it, there is nothing in it that causes it to doubt their knowledge or lose their purpose. Instead of radiating love and perfection like the flower, you've been finding ways to block chances to be happy with an unnatural battle against your excellence. How many times have you beat yourself up or convinced yourself that you are not worthy of something you desired? How many times and ways have you been trying, striving, and thirsting hard to prove your greatness? Are you still waiting for others to see it and commend you for it? Do you feel shame and envy because your roots and beauty are different from others? When will you stop denying yourself from allowing love and seeing all of the beauty in yourself every opportunity you can? I had to ask myself the very same questions because I was doing the same thing. How much more time until you have punished yourself enough? You've denied yourself from what you naturally desire, from what inspires you, the nurturing you require, and your right to shine through in this life that is yours the way you choose. You have refused to recognize, honor, and appreciate the value that you bring to the world. By appreciate, I mean raise the value instead of depreciating, instead of enjoying every amazing thing that is meant to aid in your growth while helping you understand what makes you happy and more fruitful. You have been focusing more on what you fear and what you don't want. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Sometimes you may have tried to block another from being what they were meant to be. If it's not, if it dis- didn't sit right for you or make you happy, maybe it's time to get back to being more like the flower. Every single one is different. None try to be anything other than what they were meant to be or change another, and neither should you. Do you want a happier, healthier, loving, more satisfying life? Why wouldn't you want that, right? Most would say that's their desire in life. I've always said that while doing the opposite and putting myself in positions that didn't make me happy. I wasn't doing what I needed to do to truly live the way I said I wanted to. Are you? I like the page sound, so maybe you do too. In the beginning, I was inspired to write this book for me. My desire is that it would help others too, but that was an added bonus. What I'm about to share with you is what I believe to be one of the best ways to get everything you could ever want, because it has helped me tremendously. Just because it is what has worked for me does not mean it is for you, even though my intention is to help and share. My true belief is that no one can help you more than you. It's fine if you believe it's wrong to be selfish, but understand that if I did not decide to write this for myself, first and foremost, there would be no book to serve as an aid for those who could benefit. I know. Selfish has been an ugly word for a long time. The word has been demonized, and even admitting that you are could have you ostracized. It's associated with being stingy and greedy, which is a how dare you, stab you in the back and front, kick you twice while you're down, and pour salt on your wounds type of offense. Many believe it to be downright nasty and disturbing evil that will cause you to end up sad, miserable, and alone. That's what they say, anyway. It never should have mattered what they said, but they became people who taught those who taught us, and that we are somehow attached to. I've seen others, and I've personally spent so much of my own precious life concerned with being selfless, like they told me to be, that somewhere along the road, I forgot to take care of myself. I forgot that I am entitled to nothing less than love, harmony, and happiness. So, where must that come from first? From myself, of course. That's the part that they forgot to tell us. All of the work I had to do, and I'm still doing, has always had to start within me. Before I could see changes in my life. Being that flower means loving, accepting, and allowing yourself to bloom as we were meant to, and allowing the same to others. Thank you. I'm glad that's what I'm here for. I'll start again. So, being that flower means loving, accepting, and allowing yourself to bloom as you were meant to, and allowing the same for others. How evil is that really? It sounds quite nourishing to me. My self love and enlightenment journey started when I accepted that I am like many others who have suffered from oppression, depression, and trauma. I was depressed and I kept it hidden pretty well, even from myself. I really didn't believe in or trust myself, my importance, and my strength. I felt unbelievably sad, lost, anxious, guilty, shameful, trapped. And while I smiled all the time in public, I secretly cried a lot. I was heartbroken and felt a low sense of self worth. I stopped doing things I once enjoyed and isolated myself from all of the people I loved. My once highly vibrant energy was very low and depleting quicker than I could replenish it. It was pointed out to me by friends on two separate occasions that I could be suffering from depression. Initially, I didn't want to believe or even confront that. As a strong and powerful woman, I could never admit that. It made me feel weaker. While I wanted to be viewed as an expert, I was living in an internal nightmare of sadness that lingered because I wasn't dealing with it. The last thing I wanted to do was shine a light on it. Then I realized what I was doing wrong. And I just love those sounds, so I think you might. So many sounds from a book. Oh, you do? Okay. Let me keep it going then. I love them too. You're my special guest tonight, so you can make special requests. We might have to rename it like reading, tapping, and book sounds or something. Thank you for being up all late with me. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Yeah, I'm gonna have to send you over a copy, Miss Lady. I appreciate you so much. Let's see. For the first time, I took a step back and really examined my life. I realized I had been sabotaging my happiness for a very long time. I got you. I started to notice the things I was thinking, saying, as doing, as well as excuses I was making that kept me unhappy in an unhappy cycle. I had fears that I couldn't and wouldn't admit that kept my light dim. Part of me knew that I was stopping myself from getting everything I wanted. I was unconsciously punishing myself for reasons I wasn't even aware of, and even in ways I didn't completely know about. I had to figure out how to make a change. I appreciate that something has brought you to this book, and you have decided to read about something that is near and dear to my heart. I believe we are here to live the happiest, most satisfying, and authentic life possible. We just need a reminder that we're entitled to it. Because you are called to reading or hearing this book, there is something in between these covers that you have asked to hear and will resonate strong enough to help you in your life and future. I am in no way trying to tell you what to do on your journey to a better love and life. That's your choice. How you do it is up to you. I am here to give you hope and let you know that you deserve what you desire. Now, I wish you all the love and joy in the world on your journey. Mm, yes, ma'am. You know, I wanted this book to help women everywhere because I really do believe that when we help women heal themselves, that we heal everybody. We heal the men, we heal the children. We are the teachers, the nurturers. So thank you. So if we have our own healing, then who doesn't heal? We're the foundation, we're the strength, and we inspire and motivate the men. And of course, we teach and nurture the children. So if we can heal, then we can help to heal all. So this book is definitely for women. While anybody can read it and it was definitely made to help anyone, it is specifically for women who feel like they've lost themselves or they've just done so much for everyone else and haven't taken the time to love themselves or even know what they want. I mean, we can ask ourselves, what's my passion? What makes me happy? What drives me? What do I love most in the world? And a lot of us, we don't have an answer. It's not something we ever thought about. But, we can tell someone what we don't want, and we can say what we don't like about somebody else, or what's not right for somebody else. But ultimately, you're only living your life. You read your tongue, baby? I've been healing and doing a lot of inner work. This book will be amazing for anyone who reads and listens to it. Thank you, sweetie. I truly, truly believe that. That was me putting my energy into this and my love into this. And of course, something that I had to do on my own. I mean, this came from healing that I was doing. This comes from my growth, my journey. And there's some stories in here that are pretty interesting too. And I hope that this helps relax you and hope you get some sleep. Let's show you the front. Let's show the front. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. But I will definitely make sure that I get at least the ebook or the audio book over to you. I instantly felt the intention you put into it. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much. Well, my mom was the first person to pick this cover. My friend Talita helped me design it. And we did our poll on Facebook. And this did get the highest interest, the red cover. So I just thank everybody who helped me decide because, I'm not that great. I'm getting better making decisions. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Let me see. Well, since we have you here and, let's go a little bit longer. I say we read another chapter, not one, because, I read that. The first chapter on Facebook. Let's read chapter 2. It's another short chapter, so we'll read that. Are you selfish? Ooh, a lot of people won't get in trouble for reading this book. At least in their head. Oh, that's right. It was your favorite too. Well, thank you for helping me pick that out, Miss Love. So we'll read chapter 2. Are you selfish? To be successful, you have to be selfish. Or else you never achieve. And once you get to your highest level, Then you have to be unselfish. Stay reachable. Stay in touch. Don't isolate. Michael Jordan. How do you know if you're selfish? No need to waste time deliberating on that. I have an easy answer for you. I believe you're ready to hear. If you're reading this book, you're selfish. You know, this is a self help and personal development book centered around enhancing your life. Now, do you honestly think there's something wrong with you being selfish? If so, why do you think that is? Isn't it natural for you to desire progress and expansion? The wool over many of our eyes makes you believe that if you are selfish, you are stingy or greedy. Not only does it not mean that, it never meant you were a mean and evil person either. Just because you want better for yourself does not mean you want to take from others or keep anything away from anyone else. I'm going to have to read this one on Facebook. All that is false. It's actually quite the opposite. You want others to have what's for them. You have an obligation to love and take care of yourself first. So you must be selfish. That does not mean that you want, excuse me, that does not mean that you want that to be at the expense of others. Okay. Yes, will do. Nor does that mean that you want to deprive another of anything or truly don't care about anyone else. You never desire to hurt, mislead, or steal from anyone because you will no longer be doing that to yourself. You only want others to be miserable if you are. So, of course, you do not want to hurt anyone or keep anything from anyone else. You choose to live the amazing life you were meant to live, and now more than ever before, you want everyone else to do it too. If you are selfish, you know that anyone who has a problem with that is only bothered because they are failing to understand their purpose in their own lives. You know, giving to yourself gives so much more to others. Selfish people are more focused on reaping the benefits of living in happiness, loving, and being authentically loved for being themselves as you live the life you are inspired to live. Giving yourself permission to be happy, to be selfish, has everything to do with loving, honoring, and appreciating the divine being that you are. Simply understanding that you are the first love of your life. How will you nurture the relationship with the amazing one and only you? Before you can nurture great love with another, you must do it with yourself first. The same is true for anything else you try to give to others. It must be in the source first before it can be given from the source. How do you honor yourself when you always place others and their happiness before your own? You make sure you appreciate other people's brains, bodies, beauties, their time, issues, and problems more than your own. If you have not been loving and taking care of yourself like you need to, you already know where this cycle leads. You already know you have to do something different in order to get something you never had. I know from personal experience what it's like to get comfortable sticking to what you've been doing, ignoring what makes you happy, and settling into a robot like programmed routine. You have the exclusive ability to control your life. So why aren't you? Why would you not allow yourself to have what you want or be who you are meant to be. You don't like the idea of not being in control, yet you believe that most things are out of your control. Choose to give up your control, or somehow think it would be easier to control others. Think about how long you've been trying to do things this way, even though you know it's not yielding the results you want. If Tylenol, if Tylenol showed that it didn't work or affected you negatively, would you still take it? You'd probably do some research to look for something that you think could work and take that instead. Just like in life, you always have a choice to try something else until you figure out if something works for you. Have you ever done any research on what selfish actually means? Do you know the difference? According to their definitions, there's not much at all. Selfish is defined as devoted to or caring only for oneself, concerned primarily with one's own interests, benefits, and welfare interests, regardless of others, characterized by or manifesting concern or care for oneself. Self love is defined as the instinct by which one's actions are directed to the promotion of one's own welfare or well being, especially an excessive regard for one's own advantage. So the only difference is that a few words make selfish appear negative. What is wrong with caring and showing concern for yourself? If you do not love or are not concerned with yourself, who's supposed to be? That must be unconditional. Being selfish is endorsing well being and self love. And that is a requirement in my book, in case you haven't noticed it yet. Of course, there will always be those that argue that loving oneself too much is wrong. I would never blame someone for believing that. I have learned self love is the most vital thing in the world. It is also, unfortunately, what many try to do without. What's beautiful about having the gift of free will is that they can make the decision to live however they choose. And you have a choice to live the way you want. No one has the right to push their will on anyone else. Just because you see it all the time does not make it right. Loving yourself expresses itself in everything. You will notice it in your thoughts, how you talk to yourself. In time, you allow yourself to rest, how you use your energy, and the foods you eat, to how much you allow yourself to accept love. Self love is the simple yet profound act of treating yourself the way you should be treated and how you want to be treated by others, especially those you care about deeply. Are you sure you are treating yourself that way? The more you have a true appreciation for yourself, the more you can appreciate the people around you. How you see and feel about others is based on how you see and feel about yourself. As the love within you grows, so does the love you feel from and for others. It becomes so easy to see how they are directly correlated. This is why you have heard that if someone doesn't understand their own value, they won't value you. So if you're looking for love from anyone else besides yourself, you've been looking in all the wrong places. If you don't show love and appreciation to yourself, how can you ask anyone else to do the same for you and really expect that they will? How can you how can your self-worth and self-esteem ever be anything but dependent on how others love, judge, and value you? You may be surprised to find out how much love, respect, appreciation, and admiration you will receive once you start giving these things to yourself first and foremost. Amazing things are derived. Now it's time to start focusing on what makes you so great and stop devaluing yourself for any reason. You will never consistently feel or be great that way. I know that for a fact because I've done it time and time again to my own detriment. I would hate to see anyone go down the same road, but I also know you will go down that road until you are ready to make a U turn. Only you will know when the time comes for you. That is the perfect time for you. Selfish is so damn sexy because you are practicing love for yourself. This love is so empowering and inspiring that there's really no good reason it shouldn't be a part of your life. It's the main ingredient to truly loving anyone else. It is essential if you want to have energy to care for other people in your life. Who benefits positively when you hate, degrade, or damage yourself? How, how good does it make you feel? It is far from sexy and significantly takes away from your ability to live the fulfilling life you were put on this earth to lead. Naturally, you'll become sexier when you start to focus on loving and celebrating who you are. It will be easy to see the difference. Part of the reason you are on this earth is to share love. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be so easy to you. Sharing love has to start with you. Loving yourself first is the best step you can take to making sure those around you are the happiest as well. Your heart is more open to being compassionate to others once you truly learn to express love for yourself. When you are more willing to enjoy and celebrate other people with the loving energy you give yourself, who doesn't benefit from that? Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Putting yourself first may be a shock to the system. At least it was for me anyway. Things are strange when they are not well practiced. I had an internal struggle because I kept feeling it was wrong. I had to recognize that it didn't take away from me loving others, but instead gave me more to love others with. I started to understand that what was going on in my mind was what was going on in my life. The more I started to appreciate and celebrate the good things about myself, the more I could fully appreciate and rejoice in the goodness of everything and everyone around me. Alternatively, at the times, I didn't believe in myself and tore myself down on what I thought was negative, the more difficult it was to find the positive in the realm around me. So when you think about complaining, beating yourself up, tearing yourself and others down, stop. Instead, focus on the good and what you want to see. As a result, you will start to find more of it. It's just a natural side effect. Sounds so simple, and it is. I'm sure you have noticed that you find what you expect to see, even if that isn't really what you want. It's what you're prepared for. Increasing feelings of respect and adoration for yourself celebrates a progressive attitude and enhances how much happiness you experience while projecting that even more to others. It will become even easier to see why learning to love, accept, and fully revere yourself is so important because that is what you want to receive. In the past, I could think of plenty reasons why I should break commitments to myself. I was not being loving or loyal to myself. I wasn't being of service. I was a slave. Ultimately, I was letting myself know that supporting and making them happy meant more to me than doing the same for myself. I would give all for another, but wouldn't give much to myself. You may have found reasons to do the same thing to yourself. Start loving yourself and be loyal to yourself. Believe it or not, only a few will attempt to have a problem with you. You do know that some people will have a problem no matter what you do, right? Realizing this will help you free yourself from worrying about what they say. If you haven't realized it yet, it is their problem, not yours. Just like your problems are not theirs. You know what you eat will never make it to their toilet. Remind yourself of that when you need to. Ever wonder why there are so many people who come across mean and judgmental? They're suffering from the same types of lack that you may be or have allowed it to consume them. They still feel they still feel guilty for not living in the truth. And excuse those noises. They still feel guilty for not living in the truth of who they know they were meant to be. It's also very likely that they haven't been doing what feels right to them and have been depriving themselves the pleasure of doing what they enjoy. It's easy to see why this would make you miserable and know, and you know what they say about misery. It loves company. There is a part of them that is punishing themselves and want to transfer that to you. This may or may not be an unconscious thing, but if they can't do it, why should you be able to? There's also a part of you that is still in conflict, fighting your old programming, and it is being reflected through them. So stop fighting. Claim responsibility for yourself and your selfishness. Are you number one? What is greater than number one? How are you showing yourself that you are most important? Do you care about your peace and well being? Do you show gratitude for the divine gift that you are? Who else do you think should do it? Be happy now or wait until later. Many have waited and realized how short life really is. The choice is really simple because you are either waiting or living. When you choose to step into your truth and do what you were meant to do, which is what feels right for you, then you benefit everyone even more than you ever could otherwise. Therefore, you make the sexiest, most giving choice of all. Now that you understand why being selfish is advantageous, keep in mind that loving yourself deeper is a process, but also an amazing, worthwhile journey. You don't just do it once, check it off the list, and go on about your life. Self love is a continuous lifestyle. You must dedicate yourself to it daily. Take comfort in knowing it is a voyage that will give you everything you've been searching for and some amazing surprises along the way. And then we have a little quote at the end before the next chapter. It says, feeling lost means you can be found. So that's before our next chapter, which is the honest years, where I talk about, you know, when we got here and we were honest and we knew that we had to take care of ourselves and we had people around to help take care of us before we truly could. And we understood self preservation and a love and value for self. So we've got a couple of goodies in the book, and I truly hope that you enjoyed the reading. Oh, hold on. Let's get a couple more sounds for you. Aww, thank you. Thank you so much. So in the back, we have a little sample. Well, just to let you know that we do have the workbook. The workbook is coming soon as well and will be available on selfishandsexy.com very, very, very soon. But yes, we will continue to get the word out. We will continue. Oh, thank you. We will continue to spread love, to spread joy, to spread healing. And, of course, this little weird ASMR channel, that was part of the purpose for that. Also, to get me in front of the camera, to get me speaking more. Because, of course, I definitely have to practice my speaking and get better at that so that we can continue to help people all over the world. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yes, you like, so please share and, you know, pass it on to anyone who you think it could help. And you've always been so supportive, beloved, so I'm definitely going to get a copy out to you. And just to tell you I appreciate you. I thank you so much. Thank you. Well, it's just beginning now. We definitely still have some ways to go, but I'm very excited about it too. Very excited about all the people who are going to get help that I know about and will never know about. But as long as I'm planting some seeds that can help people have a better life, that's what my life is for. So, and of course, having a good one myself. So I thank you so. Oh, I appreciate you, love, and I thank you so much for being here. And I do hope that we were able to get you some nice tingles. Ah, well, goddess, let's do it. Let's do it. We on the same path. Hey, let's work together. And that's why we come in contact with people, right? So that we can help each other along these journeys and make it easier and live our passion, live our purpose. I tell people I'm definitely a motivator at heart. Sometimes it could be a little too much. But it's all in love. Everything I do is definitely in love and to help people not have to go through some of the struggles that I've gone through. Now I'm not where I want to be or don't have everything yet, but I am so fortunate and I just want to help others feel the same. So I thank you so much for being here. And I hope you can get some nice sleep. And if you ever need to relax again, to come back. And of course, we will be going live way more often. But I had to take a little time and finish my baby up and help to get some of the word out. But I didn't mean to leave you guys out of the lurch. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Thank you, sweetie. And we're going to be working on this one and the other one a bit more. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And until next time, sweetie, have a good one.